Today we'll be using soft and best sales dan satu lagi credit risk data. So share with you the screen. Okay, you can go to this collaboration space and get the question. Ya, ini soalan dia. For today's lecture, so we want to look at the last type of the hypothesis testing. So yang ni kita namakan dia sebagai chi-square, CHI. Dia punya pronunciation dia sound like K, chi-square. And there are two data sets that I want to get ready. Satu adalah soft and best sales, and the other one is credit risk. And this four are the tutorial questions that I want you to do, right? So for the time being, can you please get ready this sales and soft and best sales and credit risk, right? So now it's already 8 minutes after 10. I suppose there is no one coming into this class. Then we can start the class. Okay, this is the soft and best, right? Soft and best. Yeah, actually this data is taken from the sales transaction. Yeah, something like sales, kita punya sales kan ada earning dan sebagainya. And then another data set is the credit risk. So yeah, saya nak you all ambil this credit risk. And the question is posted in this facilities. Okay, moment I need to close the door. Okay, guys, we have the questions that we haven't discussed, tutorial yang berkaitan dengan pet sample, right? And we'll discuss that during the tutorial time. So untuk hari ini kita lihat the last type of the hypothesis testing. Okay. Okay, I think let's get started, yeah, class. Okay, so these are the scenario of the type of the hypothesis for one sample, right? And then you can use the decision rule for all types of the hypothesis testing. And then I also mentioned to you that there are, in this chapter, there are 5 types of the hypothesis testing, right? Ada 5 jenis. And setakat hari ini kita dah lihat 4 hypothesis testing. Apa beza antara one sample dengan two sample independent dengan two sample dependent atau PET sample, and then ANOVA. Yeah, depending on the objective of the question, yeah. And then you need to also refer to the data set yang ada. Okay, let's say for example, if you have one sample, kan? So this is how you write your hypothesis, right? Kita ada satu mu saja. So mu is kita ambil senario yang berapa? Senario yang ketiga lah, ya. Kita ambil senario yang ketiga. So mu is equals to 0, and then mu is not equals to 0. Okay. Now, if you have one sample mean, if there are two samples and you want to compare on the mean, then you should write your hypothesis as mu1 minus mu2 equals 0, right? Alternative, mu1 minus mu2 not equals to 0. So mu1 and mu2 you can define, and then these two are independent of one another. Okay. Now, for ANOVA, if you have more than 2 groups and you want to compare the mean, so you need to use ANOVA. ANOVA adalah F-test lah, 1 sample and 2 sample, and also PET sample, right? Semua adalah T-test, yeah. Okay, for this ANOVA, so you can write, right? Say there are 3 groups, right? You have 3 mu's, right? So mu1 equals to mu2 equals to mu3 equals, okay? And then for alternative hypothesis, mu1 not equals to mu2 not equals to mu3 not equals to 0. Okay, or you can also write in the alternative hypothesis, at least one of the mean is different from another. Okay, and then now hypothesis, all the means are equal, right? Yeah, can you see the difference now? Right, for 1 sample, 2 sample, 3, 4 sample. I mean, number 4. Yeah, this is how you write your hypothesis. Okay, as for PET sample, yeah, this is how you write it. To differentiate from the 2 sample independent, right? So you need to have mu d, yeah, mean differences, yeah, okay, equals 0. Saya ambil contoh senario yang ketiga lah, yeah. And then alternative hypothesis, mu d is not equals to 0. If this is the case, there are 2 tails in the distribution, right? Okay, so far, do you have any questions? Okay, thank you for the feedback. Now, the last type of hypothesis is chi-square, right? Chi-square. And you see the 4 hypothesis yang kita belajar semua ni adalah berkaitan dengan numbers, numerical. You need to find the mean, mu atau population mean, right? Kita ada nilai untuk the variable, right? Kita ada nilai untuk, for example, satisfaction ke, nilai untuk the time ke, and then we need to calculate the mean, right? Untuk semua ini, 1, 2, 3, 4. However, for number 5, yeah, chi-square. For chi-square, if the two variables, masih lagi variables, if the 2 variables are in categorical. Still remember kita belajar dalam chapter 1 kan? What is categorical? Categorical maksudnya data yang dalam bentuk teks, tak ada nilai, non-numerical value. So if you have that data set, then you should use chi-square instead. Right? You're gonna guna chi-square. Okay? untuk chi-square, your hypothesis, right? You have to put it in statement, right? You can say the two categoricals are either, the two variable are related. Okay, this is what you need to write in the alternative hypothesis. And for null hypothesis, the two categorical variable are not related. Okay, so ingat yang null hypothesis adalah not related, right? Not related. Okay, alternative hypothesis, the two categorical variable are related, right? So number 5, chi-square number 5 tu berbeza dengan hypothesis 1, 2, 3, and 4. Di mana empat hypothesis ini menggunakan maksudnya nak mencari mean, mean adalah average. So untuk dapatkan average, you need to have the numbers. So your variables are in the numerical values. However, for number 5, yang ni tak ada numbers. Semua adalah dalam bentuk text, right? Okay, now take a look at this. Right, this is chi-square, right? And this is the last hypothesis, right? Okay, that you have this, chi-square test for the independence. So test for independence of two categorical variables. Okay, so alternative hypothesis, you write the two categorical variables are related. Atau another word, the two are dependent. Okay, in your alternative hypothesis. And for the alternate null hypothesis, you're going to replace the two categorical variables are independent. So kalau alternative, you write dependent. So null hypothesis, you're going to consistent, you tulis independent. Maksudnya, dua kategori ni tak berkaitan langsung. They are independent. Atau if you want to write related, kalau alternative hypothesis, you say the two categorical variables are related. So in the null hypothesis, you're going to tulis the two categorical variables are not related, right? So either you can use term yang set pertama atau set kedua, right? Yeah. How do you know that we can use the we have to use the chi-square, right? So kalau kita nak guna chi-square, so maksudnya kita punya data tu dalam bentuk kategori. So maybe we can look at the first. Maybe I explain this to you first. Okay, there are a few steps. There are a few steps. Step 1 is you need to get the. You have to if that is dalam database, so you have to apply this pivot table and pivot table, especially to get the relevant item, right? And then create the pivot table. Okay, so from pivot table, you can calculate the expected frequency, right? Menggunakan this formula, right? And then step 2 is from this expected frequency. So you need to calculate the test statistic, chi-square test statistic. So you have to use this formula, right? Ada dua formula yang kita nak guna. And then, usually we'll refer to distribution table. Chi-square kan, because we are now in chi-square. But in Excel, we can type the function. Function yang kita guna adalah, this is the function. This is the function you need to get the this is to get the critical value. right, of chi-square, critical value of chi-square. This is a function. And if you want to calculate and determine the p-value of chi-square, so you use this function, right? Any adalah untuk p-value, and this is for the critical value. You see your degree of freedom. Dekat sini ada degree of freedom. So to get the degree of freedom, so this is the formula, right? So row minus 1 darab dengan column minus 1. That is the degree of. So we have two formulas there, and then termasuk degree of freedom, 3 formulas, and then we have 2 functions yang perlu guna untuk to get the hypothesis chi-square, to run the hypothesis chi-square. Okay, then so next we go to bila saya explain semua ni. So let's look at this data set. Are you ready? Yang ni banyak step sikit. Ada 4 tables we need to create. Ada 4 tables ya. Kalaulah if the question doesn't provide you with table, then you need to use pivot table. If the question already provide the table, then you can skip the pivot table, right? Yeah, can we start to do the hands-on now? Let's start,
Yeah,
betul. Okay, thank you. Now you see, nampak beza tak? Sebelum ni kita ada macam produk tu in nilai kan dalam numerical values, and then region in numerical values, yeah. But this time, you see, yang ni saya extract data, saya extract daripada data set yang kita pernah guna, ya. So I have these 2 items, region and product. So what I want to test is that I want to determine whether the type of product and the southwest region are related. So maksudnya, adakah south region hanya akan pilih produk tertentu saja, atau hanya untuk region west dia akan pilih produk tertentu, produk tudung yang tertentu. So we want to test whether the region and the type of product are related, right? So to test the chi-square, memang dia punya soalan macam ni. Adakah the 2 are related or the 2 are dependent? So we know that this is chi-square. Yeah, another way that we know when to use the chi-square is you look at the data, right? Your item, it is in category. Semua dalam category tak ada nilai kan? So can use the chi-square. Yeah, we want to check whether the 2 are related atau the 2 are dependent. Okay, first step, saya dah bagi tahu kan, kalau dalam soalan tu dia tak ada table, so we need to use this pivot table. If you have, if the question already provided you with the table, so you just skip the pivot table. Yeah, you don't have to go through the process of creating the pivot table. So in this case, kita ada banyak kan, okay, south banyak, and then west adalah banyak. So we want to know, in the south region, berapakah shore, berapakah dia punya bawah dan sebagainya. So that's why we need to create pivot table. To do this, you put your cursor in the cell, in the available, not available, in the field cell, and then you go to insert, you choose this pivot table, and then okay, you can click this, yeah. So it is already highlighted these 2 rows, and I would prefer these pivot table categories to be placed in the existing worksheet. Yeah, so I just need to mention, okay, so I want it to be placed here. So I click OK, right? Yeah, so you see, this is the pivot table that I created, pivot table fields. Okay, now I want to choose on these two, right? Because you look at the question, they're not type of product and the south and west, right? So okay, as for the product, maybe I put it in column, or the other way around, pun put it juga, right? Yeah, and then I need to also put the values. Sebab yang what we have here is all the category kan, so kita cuma boleh tell Excel to count the value, count the number. Yeah, so you can either put region atau product in the value, and then you have this count, right? Excuse me. Okay, so this is the step, first step, right? You need to create pivot table because you have so lengthy of the data, so we don't see any how to say, yeah, we need to put this information, this data in the table form, then only you can proceed with the chi-square, right? Chi-square analysis using Excel. If you ask me to do this, yeah, we have to count one by one, and then it takes time, right? So why not we just use the pivot table that we learned previous chapter, and then we create a pivot table. Okay, so yeah, are you with me so far? So this is a step one. Yeah, step one, you create a pivot table. Okay, step one, I just write step one here. If you already have the table, so you can skip this step one, right? I mentioned this quite a lot of time. Okay, sebab yang ni kita tak ada table, yeah. So kita kena create table. Okay, now I want to have this step two, right? Also in table. So altogether we will have 4 tables. Kita nak buat, we need to create 4 tables, and we have to go through the 4 steps in order to run this chi-square hypothesis testing using Excel. So step 2, so apa yang you perlu buat adalah step 2 adalah you copy. You copy not all the columns in pivot table, yeah. So ambil setakat row saja, because we don't want to copy together with the formula, right? Kita nak ambil yang table saja, kita tak nak formula. If you copy all, ya, termasuk yang ni, will be copied together with the formula and pivot table fields, right? So bila kita klik ni, pivot table fields akan keluar. So you don't want that, ya. For step 2, we just want to copy this part saja. Yeah, when you click it, you don't have to change the pivot table fields anymore, right? So this is what we want. And this step 2 is the observe, right? Observe frequency. Yeah, this is observe frequency, right? You can just type observe frequency, step 2. Okay. Are you with me? So you can see that, yeah, Aoning, in South region, you have 11, Bawal, there in South region, there are 23, Shaw, there is 20, so on and so forth, right? So we want to know whether this particular region, yeah, their customer only choose certain type of the tudong, right? We want to see whether the type of product and the regions are related. So that's why we need to run this analysis. Okay. Are you okay so far? Can we go to the next step? So step 3 is where we need to calculate the expected frequency, right? So expected frequency. Right. To get this expected frequency, I want you to copy this table again. All right, copy step 2 table and paste it in step 3. But now we have to like yeah, are you up to here?
Yes, Miriam.
Okay, good. So I need to move this. It somewhere down here so that I can copy this. Yeah, we need this formula. Yeah, kita perlukan formula ini to get the expected frequency. So what happened here? What you need to do here is you need to delete, right, the numbers in the cell, right? Delete setakat sini saja, okay? 4 cells saja, and you remain the quantity, grand total and grand total row and column. Yeah, just keep the values as it is, right? So kita delete yang dalam ni. Why? Because we need to calculate the expected frequency, right? To calculate the expected frequency, so kita guna formula ini. Look at this formula. Okay, you have this grand. Okay, you need to get the grand total row darab dengan grand total column bagi dengan number of observation. Okay, these two are the grand total row. Sebab dia adalah row, right? And then we have this 4 adalah column. So this is the grand total columns. And this is the number of observation. Okay, so we have to go cell by cell, right? So a cell, you have the awning and south region, right? Awning and south region. So to calculate the expected frequency, so you type sama dengan. So you can, okay, open bracket. So yeah, just let's see. Okay, you ambil yang ni, grand total row darab dengan grand total column. Okay, and then you bagi, right? You have to bracket it and bagi dengan number of observation 137. So I repeat, for awning and south, this cell, right? This the first cell, you ambil grand total yang 64, right? Grand total row bagi dengan grand total column. Value is 26. Bagi dengan 137. This is the sample size. Okay, then you enter and you get this is the expected frequency for awning in south region. Yeah, awning in south region. Kita kena buat satu-satu. Okay, and then for bawah, also the same. Right, now calculate the expected frequency. You type sama dengan open bracket. So you ambil grand total row, right? 64 darab dengan grand total column. Column sekarang ni adalah 55, right? 55. Darab dengan 55 sebab yang ni adalah bawah top region, kan? And then bagi dengan 13, right? So just enter and you get the expected frequency for bawah in south region. So we have to repeat for another two times in the south region, right? In the south region for shawl and serum. So buat benda yang sama. Okay. So I just type open bracket shawl. Kita kena ambil row grand total row darab dengan grand column. Close the bracket bagi dengan the sample size, right? So I enter, and for a shawl in the south region, type something, open bracket expected frequency. To get the expected frequency kan, so kita kena ambil grand total row darab dengan grand total column, this time for serial kan, and then bagi dengan number of observation 137. So you just enter. And now you have done for the expected frequency for south region. Right, south region kita dah siap. So now you go to the west region. So buat benda yang sama juga. Okay, so now we know how to do it ya. So apa yang saya boleh buat di sini adalah I can use the absolute reference to get the expected frequency. Okay, first for the south region south region earning product, so saya ambil grand total row darab dengan grand total column. Okay, and then bagi dengan 137. Right, enter. Okay, you look at this earning dengan west kan, earning dengan west. So to calculate the west region for all these four type of product to get the expected frequency. So what is fixed is 137 kan, the sample size is fixed, and then the grand total column also fixed. The one that berubah adalah the grand total column, right? Row adalah fixed, sample size adalah fixed. So kita boleh freeze kan, right? So for K, in my case, so I freeze 137. I freeze this cell for function F4. So I freeze kan ini. And then another one that I need to freeze is the grand total row. Grand total row, it is in blue color. Okay? Grand total row. So I freeze this. Okay? Yeah. So bila saya dah freeze kan ni, right? So saya boleh write saja formula dia, and then I got all the values. So I can randomly check kan, saya check betul tak saya punya selection tu. Okay, for the expected frequency west and bawah, right? So I have this grand total row darab dengan grand total column bagi dengan sample size 137. Yeah, correct. So this one also the same, right? You check. So that means it is already correct, right? So this is your expected frequency, right? So you see you have so many decimal places kan? So kita boleh kurangkan ke 4 digits lah, right? Or in 2 digits also can, right? So this is your expected frequency. Are you okay?
Yes, doctor.
Okay, madam.
Okay, if you are okay, then we look at step number 4. Step number 4 is we want to calculate the test statistic, chi-square test statistic. We have this step 4. Chi-square test statistic. Okay. To do the same, so you copy table ini, you copy the whole table and paste it here, right? And we need this formula, Okay, I remove it downward. We need this formula. I put side by side. Okay, step 4, you dah copy kan. So what you need to do is you delete everything. Deletekan semua benda. Right, kita nak dapatkan chi-square gunakan formula ini. Okay, this formula, this is chi-square. This is chi-square test statistic. It is a summation of numerator. Again, numerator adalah frequency observed. So this is your observed frequency. And FE, this is expected frequency. So for every cell, ini kita ada cell 1, cell 2, cell 3, cell 8 cells. For every cell, you need to calculate, you're going to get the observed frequency, tolak dengan expected frequency, and then square, and then divide by the expected frequency, right? That's how you calculate your chi-square. Okay, we start with soft region, right? Bounding and soft region. Yeah, you follow this formula. So kita buat sama dengan, right? Open bracket, right? You see? Yani, this is the, we want to calculate the chi-square, kan? So kita kena ambil observed frequency, right? Where is the observed frequency? So it is in step 2. So nak ambil observe yang mana? You look at here, right? You want to calculate the soft region, the owning product, right? Sub-region with owning product. So this is the observed frequency. So you ambil ini. Okay? Boleh ke kelas? So you highlight this one. This is your observed frequency. And then tolak minus with expected frequency, right? Your expected frequency is in step 3. So step 3 kita masih lagi lihat kepada soft region and owning product. So this is the expected frequency. So maksudnya you ambil observed frequency tolak expected frequency, yeah, for this cell, right? Soft and owning. And then you close the bracket. Yeah, we are not done yet. You see, you have to square this value, right? And in Excel to square it, yeah. So you can guna this carat, panggil yang ni symbol carat, and then 2. So maksudnya square, right? Yeah. Are you okay so far?
Yes, madam.
Yes, Doctor.
Okay, good. And then next kita pergi, yeah. This is the numerator. So bagi dengan denominator expected frequency. So you're gonna expected frequency untuk soft and owning. Yeah, don't go to other south at bawah atau west, right? So we are looking at the cell name south dengan owning, right? So jangan ambil expected value yang lain. Okay, then once you have fill atau key in all the values, so you just enter. And this is the chi-square test statistic untuk this cell saja. We have to calculate for all the 8 cells, right? And then calculate the total, grand total. Yeah. So I repeat, this is the first cell, di mana we have this soft and owning. Now for this soft and owning, kita ambil expected frequency, right? Tolak dengan, kita ambil observed frequency, tolak dengan expected frequency, and then square. So square you can ambil this symbol, carat, and 2. And then divide by the dia punya denominator, expected frequency. So if I check my formula bar, these are the colors. These are the cells that I substitute in the formula, right? You don't go to other cells. Semua adalah dalam kolom yang sama. And then dekat row soft saja, right? Don't go to other, don't use other value. So you just enter. Okay, so you repeat the same thing for vowel, for soft and vowel product kan, so sama juga. Soft and vowel, so you're gonna expected frequency, first dengan observed frequency dulu, ya. observed frequency, so maksudnya soft and bawah observed frequency tolak dengan soft and bawah expected frequency, right? So you close the bracket, you use carat square, right? And then divide by expected frequency, right? So you enter. So I got 0.28. And then for short and serial pun sama dengan, right? We are looking at the soft region first, yeah? So you open bracket, you pergi ke observed frequency, ambil soft and bawah, soft and short, right? Soft and short. This is observed frequency. Tolak dengan soft and short observed frequency. Then you close bracket, you squarekan dia, right? And then divide by the expected frequency for the soft and short, right? So you enter, right? Yeah. And then next, the last one for soft region adalah serial kan. So you close, open the bracket, choose the observed frequency, soft and serial. Tolak dengan expected frequency, soft and serial. Okay, and then you close the bracket, and then you ambil carat 2, maksudnya squarekan this value and divide by expected frequency. You choose soft and serial. Okay, so you enter, and this is the value. So if you are familiar with the formula, so you can just copy and paste. So now we look at the west kan, kita lihat west region. So for west region also the same. So kita ambil first observe frequency. Ya, kali ini dah west kan, west and Towning. So this is the observed frequency. Tolak dengan expected frequency, west and Towning. Okay, and then you close the bracket, you square it. Square it kena guna the symbol carat 2. And then divide by the expected frequency, right? Yeah, carat 2 and divide by the expected frequency. Okay, so I just enter. Yeah, once you check this formula semua dah betul kan? So you can just copy saja. This time you don't have to freeze anything because we don't need one particular cell to calculate the rest, right? So you can check again dekat bawah and west. So this is the formula. Dekat west and shore, this is the formula, right? And this is the serial. Yeah, for that. Are you okay so far? You get all this value?
Yes, doctor.
Yes,
Okay,
madam.
good. Okay, next, you have to total up, ya. Kita kena total up untuk soft, kita kena total up untuk west, right? So we calculate the grand total row, untuk dua-dua row, ya. So to total up, you just need to sum, right? Sum, so maksudnya kita campurkan semua ini, right? And then that was for soft region. For west region pun sama, kita total up yang ini. Okay, kita enter. And for the grand total column also the same. So kita ambil sum dekat sini, right? We sum up all the awning, right? We sum up all the bawah. Semua ni sama je kan? So you can just drag it sampailah dekat sini, right? Yeah. That is the steps. Okay, step 4 kan, this is chi-square test statistic. So the chi-square value is this. Chi-square test statistic. Kita dah dapat chi-square test statistic. So to make a decision, if you want to have the critical value approach, maksudnya kita dah ada chi-square test statistic, kita kena cari chi-square critical value. right? To get the critical value, chi-square. Okay, before we go to chi-square, are you up to here, or do you need more time on this? Or I can continue.
Continue, Doctor.
Okay, thank you. So this is your critical value. This is the critical value function. Yeah, critical value function. This is p-value function, and this is your degree of freedom. Yeah, rho minus 1. So this is row. This is column. Okay. So you see how many rows do you have? Yeah, you have two rows, Sajja. So you have 2 rows. Yeah. Columns, 1 column, 2 column, 3, and 4. So you have 4 columns. For your degree of freedom, so 2 row again, 2 rows, 2 minus 1, and then column, 4 column minus 1. So you akan dapat 1 times 3. Yeah, so equals 2. Dapat? So your degree of freedom is 3. Yeah. So this is your degree of freedom. Once you get your degree of freedom, you can substitute in the formula over here. So kita nak calculate ya. Okay, let me write down. This is your chi-square test statistic. So chi-square test statistic value is this, right? So this is your chi-square statistic, and then critical value chi-square. Okay, to calculate critical value of chi-square, so kita guna formula yang tadi, right? So you need to type sama dengan CHISQ, right? So dia dah keluar ni. So you follow this formula saja. CHISQ dot INV, and then you have this RT, right? INV RT. So kita pilih yang ni, right tail, right? So double click. So probability. Okay, assume that this is the you have the probability of you have significance level of 5%, right? 5% significance level. So you just type you have that 0.05 as your probability. Yeah. And then next is your degree of freedom. Right? You just you type your degree of freedom. That's how we have calculated the degree of freedom. Can degree of freedom is 3. Look at it. Yeah. So we have the degree of freedom 3. Okay, so we have this 0.05, and then degree of freedom is 3, right? So you close the bracket, you enter, and you got critical value 7.8. Agak besar, agak tinggi, right? Okay, then we check again the p-value, right? Kita tengok p-value chi-square. What is p-value chi-square? So you can use this formula. You type sama dengan CHISQ dot ST, right? This one you have to look closely. See, you type this one, and then next you have this actual range. Yeah? So actual range is your observed frequency. So you pergi ke observed frequency. So you type semua cell yang ada shaw bawah, Alnic, and cereal, small, all type of product, and also the two regions. Okay, in two regions. Yeah. So this is your actual range. Okay, when you are done with that, you just comma, and then next you see this expected range stand out pen. So maksudnya you gonna select expected value lah. So you select semua ini, yeah, and then you just enter. Then you have this 0.6. Ini besar. You can just reduce the decimal place to 3 digits. Now you have this, yeah, you have this. Okay, so okay, these are all the steps, yeah. Yeah, we start with the step first, and then now we need to run. We have to construct the hypothesis, right? So you can write the hypothesis HO H1. So what is this? So you boleh lihatlah soalan dia. So test if the type of product and the regions are related, right? So first you write the type of product and regions are independent. Maksudnya they are not related, yeah. Okay, and then alternative hypothesis, the type of product and regions are dependent, saling berkaitan. Okay, yeah, this is your hypothesis. Sama dengan the two categoricals are independent. Yeah, yang tu adalah alternative hypothesis. The two categorical are independent. So yang tu adalah null hypothesis, right? Okay, next, your alpha is, say, your type 1 error. So your significance level is 5%. And then if you use the critical value approach, yeah, you compare your critical value with a test statistic, right? So your chi-square test statistic is 1.83, kan? So yang ni kita calculate. So it is 1.83. And then your chi-square critical value, right, is 7.85. So critical value adalah lebih besar daripada test statistik. So decision do not reject issue. Okay, you can conclude that. Yeah, if you don't reject HO, right? If our decision is do not reject HO, you conclude based on the null hypothesis statement. So you can say that it can be concluded that the type of the product and the regions are independent, right? Bukan bermaksud south region mereka pilih bawah, west region pilih shore. Yeah, no, we don't have that. Of course, we have tested and we found out that these two are not related at all, right? So that is the conclusion. Okay, if you are using the p-value, right? P-value you compare with alpha. So your alpha 5%, your p-value you ambil dari sini 0.608. So your p-value is greater than the test statistic. Okay, so here your decision is do not reject this one. Okay, so your keputusan also the same. Yeah, decision also the same. And conclusion is. Bigger class? So I give you 5 minutes to digest this. Yeah, any questions you can ask? Okay, class, any questions? Can follow, right?
No, Doctor.
No, madam.
Okay, thank you for the feedback. Yeah. So with that, we have completed chapter 5. Yeah, all the 5 hypotheses. Yeah. So these are the samples of the different hypotheses that we learned in chapter 5. Right. And also depending on the question and also the data set. Yeah. And then this is how you write your hypothesis. Okay. Now, after this, we'll look at the second hands-on using the credit risk. But before that, I want to, I have these tutorial questions. These are the tutorial questions. So for each tutorial group, you have to answer. I have assigned the questions for you. Yeah, either question 1, question 2, or question 3. But for question 4, again, you have this chapter 5 hypothesis testing tutorial questions. For question 4, you have to get the questions in the Microsoft Teams dalam file kan, under general and file. So dia punya file name is chapter 5 hypothesis testing tutorial questions. So you have 5 questions here. You ada 5 soalan di sini. You have to determine what type of hypothesis to use and then what analysis to run. Right? How do you write the hypothesis? Right? Yang ni adalah question dalam Microsoft Word, and this are the data in Excel. Right? So data yang ada di sini, you dah boleh terus guna data untuk run analysis lah. So this is question 1, question 2, question 3, question 4, and question 5 data set. Right? Yeah. For question number 4, I want every tutorial group, you have to try these 5 questions. Right? Untuk question 4 ni ada 5 soalan. Semua tutorial group you buat semua soalan. Right? For question 1, 2, 3, so you buat according to what I have assigned to you. Okay. Now, for example, okay, we look at group. So we look at marketing group. So I have these questions assigned to each of the group. Yeah, each of you, you'll get 2 questions. Either question 1, 2, 3. Right? Dan satu lagi, question number 4. Question number 4, semua kena jawab. Ya, semua orang kena jawab. Okay, so see. Sama dengan kumpulan yang untuk economics student pun sama. Right? Okay, I just show you one example here. You have your tutorial. This is your tutorial. So you have, right, today's date, chi-square, question 1 and question 4. Right? Group number 2, question 2 and question number 4. So semua group kena jawab soalan 4. Ya? Soalan 4 ada 5 soalan kaitan dengan chapter 5. Right? So you have to show your answers in the Microsoft Teams. Okay. So for this chapter, you try and see whether you can complete it by Tuesday or Wednesday and Thursday. So if you cannot complete all the questions, so we'll discuss question 1, 2, 3 dulu. Yeah, we will discuss the chi-square, question 1, 2, 3, and also PET sample. And for chi-square, question number 4, maybe after mid-sem break, baru kita discuss. Right? Yeah, for all groups, semua group, marketing and economics. Yeah, since I'm in this group, tutorial group, so I want to tell you also, okay, I have already assigned, I've assigned the questionnaire to each of the groups. Right, this is your tutorial. No, this is your group project group. Right. So untuk marketing dulu ya, marketing dulu. Okay, for leaders ya, for leaders according to this email address. So I have assigned. Yeah, I think this is. Yani yang mana Nur Hanan kan, Nur Hanan. So you have to check kalau you nak for leaders, you want to check your progress. So you click on this link. Okay, I want group leaders, all the group leaders for marketing and students. You check dua-dua ini ada tak keluar macam questionnaire yang sama dengan your group name, right? Your group name kena sama ya. So kalau group name yang lain, your group name, you have different group name, and then you get another group names punya questionnaire. Maksudnya you will be collecting the questionnaire for another group. So make sure you dapat group name yang sama, right? For example, if I click on this one, so this will lead me to this particular question. Ya, hanya group leader yang boleh access menggunakan the link yang for group leader. So the reason I assign this to the leader is because you can monitor the number of respondents that your group members and yourself have collected. Yeah, at least each person collect 10. If you have 5 in a group, so you must have at least 50 sets of responses. Yeah. So make sure you punya group name adalah sama, right? Group name. Yeah, this is for leaders to access. As for members, then kalau members, for example, to yang pertama, marketing 5A1, right? So you boleh click on this, right? Make sure that yang tu adalah 5A1, marketing 5A1. And group leaders, please check. For group leaders, you please check. There are. Yeah, you have around. Yeah, you have all the questions. Sampailah ke soalan. Sampailah ke soalan. Okay, the last is 24. Yeah, question 24. Ada CR1, 2, and 3. Yeah, kalau yang tak sampai 24 questions, so you have to let me know. Because kalau you still distribute the questionnaire, maksudnya you punya question tak cukup. Right? So this is the role of the group leaders. Can you please check? Yeah, semua group leaders ya. Sebelum you tell your members and yourself to collect the data, please go through whether saya dah assign group name and whether the link that I provide to you is the same as your group name. Right? Kena check. Yeah. Yang tu untuk student marketing. So for econs group pun sama juga ya, economic student. Okay, if you have any questions or any problems, so we can discuss it during our tutorial this Wednesday and Thursday, right? Yeah. So for the time being, group leaders, please check, make sure that the code, the group name that I assign is the same as the link that I provide to you. Right? Sebab banyak group kan, so I have to check carefully, and then you also need to check So janganlah macam you all collect untuk group online, collect data tu. Okay, so untuk yang ini, untuk kumpulan economic student kan 5A. So ada satu group tak complete you punya email address. You see, yang ni kumpulan 4. Fatimi Megat, you all punya ni tak complete. So especially yang depan ni, saya tak tahu yang mana. So I didn't assign. Make sure you fill it properly. Okay, kumpulan econs group A. So can you please check? Yeah. So kumpulan, okay, say for example this is this ketua, right? For the ketua, so make sure you check on this link. For the leaders, you click on this link and check whether the code is the same, your group is the same, right? Semua ada kecuali kumpulan yang keempat, right? Because the email address is incomplete. And yang ni lah tutorial groups that you have to answer today's date and then check chi-square, question 1 and question 4, semua kena jawab semua, question 4, right? And then we also have another group, kumpulan B. Kumpulan B semua dah complete, yeah. So you please check your group leaders, please check the group name and then make sure it is consistent with the code yang saya assign. Kalau tak sama, you have to tell me as soon as possible before you start collect data. Kalau tak, nanti kerja you buat untuk respondent orang lain, ya. You collect data for other group. Okay, yang ni adalah kumpulan B, right? So saya dah assign macam ni. So please check, ya. Semua kena check. Group leaders particularly, you check. Atau group members, ya, you can only click this one because you are untuk group leaders, hanya group leaders yang boleh access according to this email address. Yeah. So group members, before you distribute the questionnaire to the respondents, please check first. Yeah, please check first. Satu, you kena check adalah adakah link tu adalah sama dengan your group. And then yang kedua, untuk group leaders, hanya group leaders boleh check the number of questions sampailah 24, right? And then when you want to collect data, yeah, please only distribute the questionnaire to Malaysian saja. Jangan bagi kepada orang lain macam Filipina ke Indonesia, because we are only tested. We are interested to look at the Malaysians respondents on this area, right? Yang ni berkaitan dengan cybercrime, ya. Cybercrime compliance behavior, right? So nanti you collect data atau nanti if we have time during the tutorial this week, so I brief you a little bit of the group project so that you know what is that about, right? Okay, and then tutorial group. So your tutorial group, yang ni semua soalan 4 ya, untuk semua group you kena jawab, right? For chi-square, so question 1, group 1, question 2 untuk group 2, question 3 untuk group 3, and so on and so forth. But for questions 4, ya, semua group kena jawab. Okay? Yeah, up to here, any questions? We still have one set to do, yeah, the hands-on. So kalau tak ada, can we quickly look at this hands-on? Okay, now, yeah. So look at here, this is the data set, right? But we only want to test on this. We want to determine if the gender and credit risk are dependent. Adakah male atau female, mereka punya credit risk adalah low atau high, ya. So for example, adakah female, dia punya credit risk adalah forever low, atau adakah male, dia punya credit risk sentiasa high. So we want to see whether gender and the credit risk, type of credit risk are related, right? So we need to run the chi-square. Kenapa chi-square? You see, semua kita nak gender kan? Gender is male and female, so dalam category. And then credit risk also no numbers, no numerical values. So kita kena guna chi-square, right? And to do this, you can, first step is you insert, you go to the chi-square table, okay? And okay, I put it in the existing worksheet, right? Location I put somewhere over here. now I have this pivot table fields, right? Okay, only credit risk and do it because maybe I chose the credit risk. Okay, I do. I can. Okay, I need to create one more. Yeah. Okay. Another. So I choose this. Adakah dia dah? Oh, dia only select satu aja. So I have to make sure that dia dah select semua. Yeah. Even though I put it all, dia select satu aja. Okay. So I need to highlight it again. And then I do that. I put it in the new sheet. Put it here. Oh, okay, cannot overlap. So I just delete this one. So what can I do? I just need to do it again. Cut it here. Yeah, you see, dia hanya highlight this name. Probably because of the other title here. So I have to reselect, right? To reselect sampai di sini. So I put it in the existing worksheet. I create it. So now I have all, right? So saya cuma perlu klik gender. I need pivot table for gender and the credit risk, right? Gender and credit risk. So credit risk, we put gender dekat sini. Okay. And then value, I put credit risk dekat sini. Okay, so this is the table, right? This is step one. If you don't have the table, right? And then if you have table, you can skip this step one. Okay, step two is you have this observe frequency, right? Observe. Okay, for this observe frequency, okay. You see, I have 135 female and male is 290, total 425. Okay, and then high risk 211, low risk 214, right? So next I need to calculate the expected, right? Expected frequency. To get this expected frequency, you copy this again and paste it here. And what you need to do now is you need to calculate the expected frequency. So kita kena delete yang dalam. And then you need to get this formula, calculate the expected frequency. Right? If you are not sure, you can put the formulas beside the table. Okay, to calculate this, so expected frequency, right? So we need to calculate the yani darab dengan this one bagi dengan total. Okay, right. So ini sikit saja. I don't have to use a quiz. Just type saja. Open bracket, column. This is row darab dengan column, right? And then divide it by 425. Okay, so I need to check whether this is correct. So correct. So next I go to the low credit risk pun sama. So I have this grand total row darab dengan column. Okay, and divide by 405. Okay, and the last one is row and male. low and male, ya. So saya ambil yang ni, darab dengan 290 bagi dengan 425. Okay. And yeah, I reduce the digits to 3. Yeah, 3 digits. This is the expected. So next, I need to calculate the chi-square. That's statistic. Yeah. For chi-square plus statistic, yeah, so kita kena delete semua lah. Yeah. And you see, your degree of freedom, yeah, your degree of freedom. I write here, degree of freedom. So you have row -1, column -1, right? So row ada 2 row, column ada row. So 2 minus 1, 2 minus 1. So equals 1 saja. Degree of freedom is 1, right? Yeah, that is for you for when you calculate the critical value. Okay, for the expected frequency, so kita ambil yang ni lah. Now, that is chi-square, yeah, expected frequency at step 3. So we have this chi-square statistic. So first, yeah, you see observed frequency again, you have high and female. So high female observed frequency, right? Tolak dengan high female expected frequency. So you have to bracket it, and then followed by square. Okay. And then what next is we need to divide by expected frequency, high female. So, yeah. Okay. So you can just copy. And chi-square pun high and male. Yeah, correct. Okay, next we have the low female. Observed frequency, any low female. Okay, darab dengan expected frequency, low female. Here, and then square, right? And then divide by expected frequency, low female. So try and see, did I get it right? Yeah. Then you can just copy and then start this in. Yeah, the number is quite big, yeah. No, I think okay, let's check it again. Expected, okay, observed frequency, darab dengan, sorry, not darab, yeah. So it should be minus, right? So expected frequency, ya betul. Observed frequency, right, blue one, right, darab dengan 2, bagi dengan expected frequency. Then this one, then only I total up, right? So total up kan. I need to check this one. Yeah, this is minus n. Okay, and this one is. Yeah, you can try to. Later on, you try and do. Yeah, see whether you get the same. So how come this one is so big? I need to check whether correct. Say, for example, into the. This is quite big. This one thought like this. But I expected. So this one also I darabnya should be minus. Okay. Or negative. So, again, expected frequency. So this times this close bracket bagi dengan got this value. And so you all check and see whether I got it correct. Yeah. So say for example this is the result. Check. Oops, so I have sum this up. Yeah, it's quite large, right? It's quite large. Yeah. Not sure whether it's correct. Maybe you can check later on, yeah. And then so this is your chi-square. Chi-square statistic sama dengan this nilai. Okay. And then your chi-square critical value. So the formula, yeah, you can take this formula and put it close to area. So I have this sama dengan as CHISQ, right? .inv dot RT. And then probability 5%, degree of freedom 1. Right? So I got this one. And then p-value, chi-square p-value. Okay. You have this CHISQ dot TIST. Okay, first actual is your observed frequency here. Observed frequency. And then next is the expected frequency. And you just add yeah, it is very, very small, right? So if you look at this critical, yeah, first you can buatlah hypothesis, yeah. Okay, you can say that gender and credit rates are not related. Then next we have gender and credit rates are related. Ya, ingat alternative hypothesis kena related. And then your alpha 5%. So if you have your critical value approach, according to here, test statistic is 69.341. Critical value is 3.84. So test statistic is larger. So decision is reject each. Yeah, there is sufficient evidence to support the alternative hypothesis. We can conclude that gender and the credit risk are related. Probably gender, female, the credit risk is lower compared to male. Maybe male is the risk taker, but female is more conservative. Right? And then next we have this p-value. That's alpha. So alpha 5%, p-value is here, right? So you have very, very small dia punya nilai tu, right? 8 to something. So this is very small. So decision, reject each book. Okay, so your conclusion also the same. So these are the steps that we have for chi-square. Any questions, class? Ada soalan?
No, madam.
Okay, thank you. And for this week tutorial, please stand by. Please get ready your answers untuk dua hypothesis. Satu adalah for pet sample and the other one is for chi-square. So chi-square you buat setakat question 1, 2, 3. Question 4 you have to do it, but we'll discuss it after mid-term break. Okay, good. Okay, I think that's all for today. If you have no question, then I see you in our tutorial class. For the questionnaire, for the group project, right? So group leaders, please check the number of questions in the questionnaire. Altogether, dia akan ada 24 questions. And setiap questions to the other sub question. And then group leaders also need to check whether the group name I assigned to you all is the same as the link that you have. Right? You're gonna sum. Okay, with that, thank you very much. I'll see you again on Wednesday and Thursday. Bye. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, Doktor.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Doktor.